We are ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying your hot dogs. Thank you, Howie, so much for providing us with some sustenance before this meeting. I have to read a little blurb before we actually start our meeting. This meeting will be recorded. The Zoom application will notify you that this meeting is being recorded. Please press continue on the Zoom application to stay in the meeting. Use the raise your hand feature in Zoom when you would like to speak on an item and to also lower your hand when you're finished speaking. Please unmute yourself when called to speak and mute yourself when you're done speaking. If you're calling in by phone, identify yourself by name before speaking on an item. Press *9 on your phone to raise and lower your hand. Press *6 if you're participating by phone to unmute. So welcome, everyone, and I'd like to call the meeting of the Economic Development and Marketing Committee to order. We're having some technical difficulties today, so instead of using the screen here, our staff is going to be passing out some copies of these slides. So hopefully they're at every table, or I think we have some additional packets up here. Is that true? Oh, okay, at the check-in table as well. So roll call, I see all members are present here. We first will deal with the consent calendar, approval of the December 8th, 2025 Economic Development and Marketing Committee ad hoc minutes. Does anybody have any comments on that, those minutes? If not, committee? Motion second, all in favor? Aye, that passes unanimously. All right, we're going to start with public presentations. These are reserved for items that are not on our agenda. Pretty much everything's on our agenda. So does anyone have anything besides talking about Super Bowl and World Cup at the moment? Do we have anyone online? Okay, great. We're going to get right into it now. We're going to start with a staff presentation, discussion and direction on the citywide 2026 economic development and community engagement. Is that Paulina?
Yes.
Paulina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year's. Welcome and excited to get the year started for 2026. Wanted to begin just going over the agenda and what we're going to be covering today on slide 2. Recap of what we've done so far to date as the committee work and the input that's been provided. Next, we're going to go over some of the updates on some of the staff efforts that are underway for the Where the Mission Meets the Moment campaign, including sponsorships, budget, FIFA watch parties, event producers, corridor art update, Lunar New Year, and then the STEM event. We will also then be discussing the global relations, the World Cup related, the city's economic development global marketing effort that's going to be presented by the economic development team. And then we established a global relations subcommittee at the last meeting, and we are going to be going over a little bit of the roles for that subcommittee. And so with that, I will get started. So what we've done so far, I think everyone here has been in a lot of the meetings, but I'll just cover it anyway. We've developed and confirmed the slogan and logo for the Where the Mission Meets the Moment campaign. We have secured seed funding for major community events and art activations in the amount of $1 million. We've been present at various events since September of this year, starting from the Art and Wine Festival, Parade of Champions, and the holiday tree lighting, with the last one being Tu Momento Tu Jugada last month at the Youth Soccer Park, kicking off the FIFA World Cup tour bus that they're doing, soccer clinics throughout the country. And we've also shared that our street banners have gone up and they're all along El Camino. We're also working on getting street banners up at City Hall, and so those are underway. Next, sponsorship package. So I know that in November, we brought you guys a very preliminary draft of a sponsorship package. We took the feedback from the committee and made some adjustments to it, and we have a finalized sponsorship package. I don't know if you can, thank you. So that's going to be shared with the committee members today. Staff has already started outreach to prospective businesses in the community. We have been meeting and like I said, promoting our sponsorship package. We do have some ships confirmed, and we are continuing that outreach as we begin the new year. We are also looking to provide the sponsorship package to the committee members. If there are leads or contacts that you guys have and would like to introduce them to staff, we would be happy to set up those meetings to help recruit sponsorships for the campaign. So we have confirmed sponsorships from 3 different businesses. Right now, we have confirmed $45,000 in sponsorships. And with that, I'll go on to the budget. So we wanted to provide on slide 6, since it's hard not to have the screen up there, an overview of the funding sources for where the mission meets the moment. As I mentioned, we've secured the $1 million that council has authorized for the events. We also have been moving forward with the CAMP program, which is revenues from advertisement sales near the stadium. And we anticipate $100,000 for Super Bowl LX and $100,000 for FIFA World Cup. And so we do anticipate $200,000 in revenues from the camp sales. And as I mentioned, $45,000 so far in sponsorships for the campaign. We are also looking to allocate $1 million from the Stadium Authority monies for the stadium event. That's specific for the stadium event. And apologize, but we also have advertising community promotion money, and that's money that's part of the general fund that is for these types of uses that are for advertising and community promotion. And so there's a different slide, and I'll include the information, the detail there. The next slide, budget and event. So this is the critical part to what are we going to be doing this coming year. We have the seed money of $1 million plus the different revenue sources I just shared. And so this is where we're allocating those funds. To watch parties, $200,000 of seed funding. At this point, the concert is not separately funded, but we are looking to combine it with the stadium event, which is budgeted at $1 million from Stadium Authority funds. Night markets and festivals, we've allocated $250,000 from the seed funding. And then the STEM zone, $240,000 from the seed funding as well. Something on here that we have not previously shared with the committee is the event producer, and we'll provide a little bit more updates or details, but wanted to share that we are looking to allocate funding to bring on an event producer to help us put on these major events in this coming year. Next is the art activations. So we are allocating $30,000 towards a corridor art city sports legends, and that would be coming from sponsorships. There is an update that we will be providing in the presentation shortly on the art activation efforts. The aerial slogan display, we at this time are still working with the vendors to get a cost estimate. And so at this time, we don't have a cost estimate to provide, but we will be providing an update as soon as we have that. And then the community art project. So this is the community murals that we would have at the different events. Each event would be a mural with the murals being a combination of the different murals from each event at the end of the year. And it would be art that's engaging with the community as they would be part of creating the artwork. And so we've allocated $10,000 of seed funding and another $10,000 of sponsorships towards that art activation. We've also purchased the Roman numeral letters. I don't know if you guys were able to attend the Tu Momento Tu Jugada. I know I saw a couple of you, and we had the Roman numeral letters out there. And so we're excited that we were able to get them, and that came out of the camp revenues. So the additional budget expenditures outside of the seed money is the slogan logo campaign. This also came out of advertising and community promotion. revenue account. And this is for these types of uses for the city. And so that was 36,950. The street pole banners also came out of that revenue or that budget account, and the giveaways. These are the things that we've been handing out at various community events. This is what's been paid for as of today. So there's a couple pending invoices, but that's just an update for you guys for the committee today. Next is FIFA watch parties. We have 5 matches that are in the afternoon. The first match in Santa Clara is a noon game. The rest are in the late afternoon, evening. And so we are looking at opportunities to have watch parties or fan festivals. We have had interest from some of the countries that will be playing in Santa Clara to have fan festivals. And so we're looking at maybe combining the watch parties with fan festivals in our community. And so we can partner with the countries, we can partner with one of the event producers, and then looking at different locations in Santa Clara to host that fan festival. One of the locations could potentially be the convention center as an opportunity, but there's so.
Can I ask you a question, Paulina,
Yeah.
about that? Are we able to have a watch party on a game that's going on in Levi Stadium? Or do we have to only have watch parties for games, that are not happening in Levi Stadium? Or do you know the answer to that point?
I would have to double check, but I think we can have them for game days.
Game day?
Yeah, and so that would be, thank you for bringing that up. That was my next bullet point. As we're having events here, there's also other games or matches that are pretty popular, and so we'd want to have watch parties for those games as well, maybe like the opening match, the final match, or if we don't get to host the US, maybe a watch party for when the US plays as well. So thank you.
I'm talking to representatives from Portugal and the United Kingdom. They're interested in watch parties to watch their countries because they're not playing here, but they want to watch them because it has local interest as well. So I just want to make sure we're gathering all that interest up right now to make sure that our watch parties are, well attended.
Thank you. Sorry. Next is event producers. So in the last Super Bowl 50, the city hired event producer to help them put all of these events together. Staff has been, we released a request for proposals. We interviewed various vendors, and we've selected 3 vendors to move forward with. We feel that these vendors they have the expertise to provide the community events that we are looking to have in Santa Clara, from the concert to the stadium event to the night markets. And so Movable Feast, Walk and Talkin', and Traffic are the ones that we are looking to contract with for to help staff and to help put on these events, especially in the lead time that we have.
A question on that too. These are event producers, so are they just working on the logistics of the event, or are they actually producing the event? For instance, Diana Ding and her group is producing the night market. So what would these event producers do?
So they would be helping us produce the events.
Meaning?
It would be a city-led event. It's our event. They're helping us put it together or put the logistics.
The logistics.
Yes,
But
correct.
they're not participating in the event and generating revenue for themselves from the event. They're just assisting the city as if they were city staff.
Correct, Mayor.
They are? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
For the watch parties, if I could just add on, I think I forgot to mention that we still have to work with FIFA to get a license. And so we would work with them to get it for what we're hoping to have here in Santa Clara, whether the watch parties or a fan fest in our community. Sure. each and every way that we could advertise, we want to make sure that we are reaching out to every community member that we can and letting them know what we're doing. So no, we would not be limiting it only to social media. And then next, we would like to provide an update on the corridor art activation, slide 12. And I was hoping we could reveal it, but it's, oh, okay. Oh, no, because it's, you click it. But it's already printed. I would like to bring our subcommittee members, Preston, Anna, and Deborah, to provide a little bit of information as to the proposed athletes and locations that they are proposing for the group. And Preston will provide a little bit of information on the artists themselves, John Cierney. And then I do want to caveat that unfortunately, as we're moving forward with this effort, the artist did inform staff that while they remain, or he remains very eager to do this artwork for the city, unfortunately, they have a medical issue and won't be able to deliver before Super Bowl. And so we are hoping that they do get better and will be able to do the artwork after Super Bowl this year. And with that, I'll turn it over to Preston.
Sure. The artist that we're talking about is John Cierney. And after talking to Paulina, I will give him a call tomorrow and give him a stern message from the management. We've worked with him at the Triton Museum in the past. If you've been to the Triton Museum, there's a large mural sculpture of Van Gogh's flowers with a woman handing the flowers to a painting. He did that. He did another mural that's just been added. If you've ever been driving down 101 near Salinas, there are a series of 18-foot tall murals of farm workers. That's John Cierney. He just completed a major commission for Palm Springs, which has about 6 of 18-foot murals of the Rat Pack and Marilyn Monroe and others that scattered around the city. So he's a very noted painter. He's also very accessible and he does art that's very well received by the general public. So he'll be doing, hopefully, 3 works of Santa Clara sports legends. And with that, they will be. Want me to do that first?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Since you're on it.
Okay, since I'm on it, the committee met and we came up with a list of Santa Clara legends. There's a lot. We have a lot of very notable superstars in the sport arena. And we narrowed it down to 3 who are all still with us, still very active in the Santa Clara community. And the first that we thought of is Brent Jones. And Brent he grew up in the South Bay. He attended Leland High School in San Jose, but we don't hold that against him. After high school, he went on to play football at Santa Clara University, where he was something of a star. He then joined the 49ers in 1987, and he went on to become the team's starring tight end and played with the 49ers for 11 seasons. He won 3 Super Bowls. He was named All-Pro 3 times, and he was the first player to be named to 4 Pro Bowls. These are all franchise records by a tight end. He never experienced a losing season and has one of the highest winning percentages in NFL history. He's also a great Santa Clara representative. So he's the first of the 3 athletes that we decided to focus on.
Sorry, Preston, did you share where we were locating him?
Yeah.
Here we go.
And his work, the mural of Brent Jones will be placed at the convention center, so within proximity to the stadium, which seemed fitting for a former 49er.
The next sports legend that we're going to have a mural of is Brandy Chastain, and that will be at 900 Lafayette, across from Santa Clara University, which is very apt because she played there for 2 years and was on the winning team for several championships in 1989 and 90. And she also grew up in San Jose and went to Archbishop Mitty High School, but then became a Santa Claran when she went to the university here. She was the world-renowned women's soccer player in the 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup final against China. And that image is an iconic image, really, of women's soccer. And I know that she also participates frequently in community events in Santa Clara, including the Parade of Champions, and it is very beloved by her fans. So that seems very appropriate to have her represented by a mural. Oh, yes, also an Olympian, right. Twice, thank you. Anna knows her personally, so you can help me fill in the blanks later. Thanks.
Yeah, the famous bra. She also does a lot of philanthropy like Bozzy, and so she's very pro invest in young women to play soccer and inspiring. She's a great leader in the community, so she's a perfect example. And she would be right near the university, so that location works for her. And the night markets that'll be there. The third athlete is Donna DeVerona. Donna is iconic. She was one of the youngest Santa Clara high schoolers to go to the Olympics. She was like 14 and went to Rome. This was in the 60s. She is a local girl. She has a sister who's a famous actress, Joanna Kearns. So she's accustomed to celebrity, I guess you might say. She also went on to Tokyo. She's won 2 different Olympian titles. She worked with George Haynes. She set records. In fact, she's been in our parade. She was a grand marshal. In fact, recently in the last parade, we had an Olympian who beat her record, and she was very proud of Donna DeVerona. It was a mentor to her. Donna also was part of the Title IX effort to make sure that women have sports rights, educational, and funding for women's sports. So she was a big, iconic pioneer in that. She was with King and on the Women's Foundation and making sure that funding continues. She's very active in government, big fundraiser for the Olympics, continues to work for the Olympics as well. So she is active every year of her life. She seems like a perfect example for a Santa Claran who's done good. And I wanted to mention she was the first woman to be a journalist on ABC Sports Network. They never allowed women to do sports on TV, and she broke that ceiling. So she's very proud. She met with the Olympic Swim Club when she was here in town, kind of gave them a little pep talk. So she's very engaging with her fans. We think she's a great representative for the 75th anniversary that's happening next year at the International Swim Center. And having her giant artwork of her there at the swim center would definitely drive people to that iconic location, historic place. Our swim record is outstanding for a tiny little city like ours, 19 square miles. We've produced like 80 Olympians in the category of swim alone. It's pretty incredible. So we're excited to have Donna DeVerona represent that.
Can I add one thing? Just to add to that, we had a lot of Santa Clara sports legends to choose from. The list was quite lengthy. We had to narrow it down to 3. And I just want to point out a byproduct of these 3 selections. This is not the reason they were picked, but the byproduct is that Santa Clara has produced more notable women athletes in a realm that seems to have been dominated historically by men. And I think that's something that Santa Clara can be proud of. And I'm rather pleased that 2 of the 3 that we immediately selected were sports legends who also happen to be women.
Can I add something? Because you love when people come in at the last minute after you've made your decisions. Is it possible to add a 4th? And that would be someone current that the younger generation may really look at, someone like Jalen Williams, who just received the key to the city. He was graduated from, well, he didn't even graduate from Santa Clara University. He plays for OKC right now. He's one of the top basketball players in the country. And they won a national championship last year. Have you thought about,
Doing a fourth would be up to the people writing the check, but
it
speaking.
would be us, the city?
Speaking on behalf of artists everywhere, if there's a sale involved, the answer is yes.
I was just thinking, we were just talking about someone current that people would recognize. And Santa Clara University just honored him and retired his jersey. And I mean, he's up there with Steve Nash and the other great basketball players, but he's current. So anyways, food for thought. Think about that.
Write the check. So if we can make it fit in the budget and the artist is willing, I think it's a great idea.
We could definitely take a look at that and adding a fourth. I think that's a great,
Basketball, soccer, swimming, and football.
that's a great addition. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you to the subcommittee for taking the time to meet and provide the suggestions or the proposals. We also, I think one of the things that we didn't mention was one of the things when considering is we did want the athletes to still be around. And I feel like the subcommittee members mentioned they all have some kind of connection or relationship with the athletes. And so we would be able to hopefully bring them and have them attend an art or an unveiling of the art pieces. And so, and then having a current athlete, I think would be very nice touch.
For the young. Where is Yvonne? Is she here, the 30-something-year-old? She may be online.
Okay. Well, thank you guys again. The art activation, the next one is the community mural. And so we are looking to have the first mural at the Lunar New Year. This is an art piece from the artist Richard Felix. And I forgot the company that he works with, Deborah, if you can remind me. Everybody Can Paint, thank you. And what they do is they bring panels to the different community events, and each panel has a different design or theme. And the artist would create an overall design, and each community member would be able to come in and paint a portion of within that design. And if you guys could see the slide on 13, you could see the design and how there's space for individuals to contribute to the art piece. And so, like I mentioned, the first one will be at the Lunar New Year Festival. The next, we just wanted to remind everyone, one of the first activations before the Super Bowl is the Lunar New Year Festival. It's a partner-led event with Ding Ding TV, January 31st to 1st, and it's going to be at 900 Lafayette Commerce Plaza. I don't believe Diana is online, so I just wanted to make sure everyone has it on their schedule and is going to be attending.
Do we know what she needs from us in terms of volunteers or?
We can follow up with her and send an email out to the group.
Okay.
Yeah. And then next we wanted to provide, I know you guys got the flyers on the table, an update on the STEM Zone event. And so we have it April 19th, 2026 at the Convention Center. And I'm going to turn it over to Patty and Rachel to provide an update on the STEM Zone event.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel from the library, and we are very excited. As you can see, it's actually called STEM Zone, so it's no longer the STEM Bowl. So just remember, I think the Super Bowl would have already happened by April 19th, so we wanted to rezone it to the STEM Zone. And within the STEM Zone, there are 3 or 4 zones that we are looking to have. Santa Clara has a lot of student robotics teams, and so we want to have a feature of the high school robotics teams locally to be able to show off the robots that they're doing right now, that they're creating. And we'll probably invite some of the local Sunnyvale and other teams. We're hoping to feature 10 robotics teams and have them kind of go face to face with their robots. And then we are going to have a makerspace zone and invite all the local makerspace areas. There's a few in the schools, and have them show off their makerspace stuff. And then also we have another space called the Discovery Zone, which will feature everything else that doesn't fit into robotics or makerspace. Some of the partners that we've already began working with is Santa Clara University, Mission College. We are working with the school district, Santa Clara Unified, and we're working on adding some more partners as we're going. So we just got some connections with the 49ers STEM program as well. And so, yeah, we're hoping to work on that. And then if any of you know of any great dynamic speakers that we can bring to this event, please let Patty and I know, because we're looking for that too. So.
Can I ask, is there going to be any sports theme at all in the STEM zone?
Yeah, we're trying to work with the Sharks, 49ers, and some other local sports teams, BFC, to try to bring some science-related sports stuff too.
So maybe we should look for speakers too that might. fit
Yeah.
that Sports, soccer, football sort of area.
We are working on that, yes. Yeah, I think because we're working as a city, we're kind of doing the ask all together, and that's where we're like working on it right now. Yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna, yeah, we are reaching out, obviously with the year that we're having with Super Bowl and FIFA, we definitely want to have a sports themed STEM zone, and we are reaching out to the different local sports teams to invite them to participate and bring that element of sports to our event. I don't know if you wanted to add anything else, Patty.
I think, I mean, I know, Mayor, that's a great question. I think one of the things that the city wanted to do was to collaborate on all the things they could ask the teams at the same time. So not just focused on STEM zone. Am I right, Paulina? So if they had an interest in the STEM zone effort, absolutely. But there may be other things that they wanted to do for the whole city in 26. So I think that the ask was going to come globally from the city as a whole, but would include the STEM zones. So we know that we want a lot of sports related, sports and physics, they all go together, right? And anything science related, it's all in there. We're working very closely with the gentleman from the engineering department at SEU who does all of their, a lot of,
Yeah, Patty, that makes sense because it's not just the sports teams. It's the
Right.
companies around here that
Yes.
support the sports teams. So Santa Clara University would know, or Mission College, or
And they're reaching out to their people too, so that it's a little bit of partners reaching other partners if they have a closer relationship. The gentleman I think at SEU has introduced us to the person who runs the national STEM programs throughout the country, and so all of those kinds of relationships I think are coming to bear. We're cutting it a little close, we know, but they're coming in pretty quickly. We have a staff person locally inside who on our staff who's working with all of the groups and trying to get the invitations out quickly and get the RSVPs done. Yeah. But if you know of anyone,
committee, and that's what we're looking at from all our committee members here. If you have connections with anyone that you think would make sense for that, please let Patty know, or the library staff. It's huge. Yeah.
Working with it.
Ricardo Padilla. Mhm. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, but we love the warm handoff. So I think, and especially with Paulina and Alicia too, if you do know someone, you can connect them with them by email, and that would be really great for us. So thank you.
Thank you guys for the update on the STEM zone. Yes.
Hi, I'm Caitlin from Discover Santa Clara. I just had a quick question. So all of these events, are these going to be listed kind of in one central location with descriptions and links? And the reason why I ask is because I would love to include these on our FIFA and Super Bowl specific pages on discoversantaclara.org, just to make it really easy for everybody to find all of these in one place.
I think that makes sense because I think when we're going out to raise funds for these events, it's nice to have all of them together so that we can show this is what we're doing, this is what the city's sponsoring, even if we have partners, this is what we're doing, and this is the opportunities for sponsorship as well.
Yes, thank you. We do have some information on the events on the city website. As we kind of get more details on the events, we fill out the information. So we do have information on the STEM zone, but the other events are listed as coming. Any other questions or? Okay. Well, thank you again, Rachel and Patty, for the update. Next, for tonight's discussion, as I mentioned, we're going to be going over the city's economic development and global marketing efforts. As we're welcoming the world to Santa Clara, we want to make sure that we're prepared in taking advantage of people being here and how we can promote our community, our city. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Rena, our Economic Development Director.
Thank you, Paulina. Thank you, Paulina. Thank you, committee. Yes, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the city. We're going to have 3 weeks of dignitaries, business leaders, VIPs, investors that are going to be coming from different countries and are going to experience Santa Clara. So we have a very unique opportunity that we want to seize in order to really pitch the city as the city to get to know when you're coming to the World Cup. So what that really means is we've been working fast and furious on a brochure to kind of highlight what many of you already know, but some of you don't, because Santa Clara is a bit of a hidden secret for people in the Bay Area to understand what gives us that competitive edge to attract investment, to attract businesses, and to attract interest. And so really, our opportunity here is to reach out to some of the countries, all the countries that are coming, and beyond that, to invite them to extend those invitations to people they think would be interested to hear more about Santa Clara. And we also recognize that people are interested in telling their story and what is interesting to them, right? So to organize some meet and greet networking events that would be, for instance, breakfasts are proposed because actually most of our games are in the evening. And so finding a couple opportunities on the calendar where we would invite individuals from different countries to kind of talk about themselves, what they're interested in, but also give us an opportunity to sell Santa Clara. And we would outreach to those consulates, embassies, community representatives that we know. We are producing a brochure. Sorry, I'm having problems with the PowerPoint, which all of you have a hard copy of. So very much in the preliminary stages, but we, like I said, have a lot of our content. I'm sorry, I'm having problems. I don't want people online to be confused. Okay, so what's inside the brochure, right? We are going to have some key statistics about why someone should be interested in investing in Santa Clara, those areas and businesses that are expanding and growing. We obviously have some really global names here that will attract attention. Our competitive advantage, which people who know Santa Clara knows that Silicon Valley power really sets us apart. The growth sectors, our market opportunities, our talent and workforce demographics, the sites that have not yet developed in Santa Clara that people might want to know about, development sites. And then really, what do we have to offer as a city? How do we partner with people who are interested in coming to the city? And then really that call to action, that partnership. So people will be here, we'll get an opportunity to get maybe an hour of their time, but what's the follow-up and the legwork that we're happy to do to get them connected to really resources and more information about the city. So this is really the bones of what we plan on doing, but we are also hoping for a partner. There are definitely some institutions that come to mind, specifically Levy School of Business at Santa Clara University seems like a good partner. So we will be reaching out and already talked to Vice Mayor Cox about maybe some contacts over there. So yeah, starting to develop the bones of this, but hopefully we can have something impressive to showcase. I mean, we have something impressive to showcase. It's our city. But we'll be able to pull all the logistics together to be able to execute on this in June.
Thank you, Rena. Thank you, Rena. Next, I know that last month we created a global relations subcommittee. And so kind of going off of what Rena is saying, our city or staff is going to be working on economic development efforts to attract business and investment and promote our city as a place to do business and invest in. And I know that the Global Relations Subcommittee is something that we established. And so for the role of the subcommittee, it's really to help augment the welcome committee to the delegations that are going to be coming to our city here in Santa Clara. So slide 20, just a little outline of what are the parameters of the subcommittee roles. It's really going to be to complement city official functions, to focus on people-to-people engagement and really provide them that flavor of what makes Santa Clara so great. It's its people, right? And then the volunteers or the subcommittee members are going to be ambassadors of goodwill and community hospitality for those individuals that are going to be welcomed to Santa Clara. What does that entail? So providing a friendly and welcome during public-facing moments. So that could be during some of these events that we're hosting, having a committee to welcome them and greet them and introduce them to the community. And then, as Rena was saying, sharing what makes Santa Clara so great. The people, the community, the people that come together. And so being able to bring that to these delegations. The other thing that we'd look to have them help us with is facilitating informal cultural connections. They may not know about Stan's Donuts, right? So where do we want to take them? What do we want to highlight about Santa Clara? Not only Stan's Donuts, local businesses, but Howie's Hot Dogs or Central Park, different areas in the community that we want to make sure that they visit while they're here. Also assisting with local logistics for those big events and how we can incorporate them into those events. And then other opportunities, I know with like Sister City programs, people have host dinners. And so that's another way that we can welcome these delegations to our community and have that welcoming arm to show them or to share with them all the great things that Santa Clara has to offer. And so with that, I don't know if there's any questions.
We have a subcommittee for this?
Yeah, we created it last month. I'll send it to the people that signed up.
Okay, so so that we have to get on that pretty quickly
We
because the requests are starting to come in about visitors coming and checking things out before, especially World Cup, less Super Bowl, more World Cup, that they're talking about coming in now. And so we should really have our agendas in order and what we're going to show them.
Correct.
So
Okay.
does that meet this week? Did you say that or?
No, we're looking to have, we have a subcommittee for the stadium event on the 15th, but if we can move it up sooner, and that's my next slides.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So one of the things is the major, or one of the events, the big event is the stadium event that everyone really is excited about, and we're equally excited. The dates that we had originally mentioned are end of February, early March, March 7th, or the last weekend of February. And so that's a quick turnaround. And so we wanted to bring it before the committee, 60 days out from that date. And these dates are based on the availability of the stadium. Because of the load in and load out for the Super Bowl and then the turnaround for FIFA and getting the field ready, there's not a lot of leg room or availability for us to have an event, especially if the goal is to have something on the field before the major or before FIFA World Cup. And so looking 60 days out, we just wanted the committee to provide some feedback on, what some things to consider, lead time to get the event planned, coordinated, and executed. If we want to combine the concert with the stadium event, what does that look like for availability of an artist? Availability for vendor and contractors to be able to put that event together. Community and stakeholder engagement. We definitely want, this is going to be an event for Santa Clara residents. We want to make sure that we have enough time to provide everyone the opportunity to attend the event. And then being able to communicate it out and promote it out to residents, right? And then like I mentioned, we are getting an event producer. So these are just some considerations we wanted to bring before the committee and get some feedback. There is a small window between Super Bowl and FIFA World Cup because they are going to start the new. The grass, yes. So while the stadium itself, we may be able to access, the field we won't be able to because they need to get on there and start turning it over for the field specifications for FIFA World Cup.
There is a window where we can get on the field.
Yes, there is a window. There is an opportunity to have something the last weekend of February, early or first week of March. And so these are just things, like I said, 60 days out from that time frame. And that's things to consider. I didn't say it, but you did. Okay. We're bringing it to the committee for some feedback.
So we've gotten a couple of proposals for stadium events. I just got an email. Looking at you, Sean. Just got an email about, performances and other things, but I want to make sure that regardless of the performances, whether they're concerts or DJs or whatever happens, that we also give the opportunity for our kids to be able to play on the field, play soccer on the field during the day. And we'd want our local teams to be able to coordinate that. Our local clubs, Santa Clara Youth Soccer, PAL, whatever, the Lions, whoever it is, that they're able to do that. So I know in this room, we've got representatives from the different organizations. So regardless of the entertainment for that, we have to include the kids because this would be their one and the only opportunity in the last 11 years to get on that field and to play. And how exciting to be able to play at the same place that, World Cup is happening just a few months later. So we want to make sure, and Mike, you're a perfect person to, help us, and Taylor and others that are in here that can get the kids organized for soccer. And Vice Mayor Cox wants girls flag football on there. Not that her daughter's not a star of flag football, but get flag football as well. So somebody has to, organize that and to get the soccer leagues. Taylor?
Oh, can everyone in the audience, the committee members, if you can speak into a mic, because of our technical difficulties today, it won't just pick up the audio from the room. So just speak directly into the mic too.
Hey, just to touch on the schools and the kids playing at stadiums. So I worked for the San Jose Earthquakes for about a decade, and when we first opened PayPal Park, we actually didn't allow any of the community local teams to play on the pitch because the grass was so important to be in top shape at a brand new stadium. Eventually, about 3 or 4 years into the new stadium being open, we finally, after a lot of bidding from the community, they wanted to host high school games like a Friday Night Lights thing there, et cetera. And we loved the idea. The only problem was you have to converse with the stadium management crew because there is a very small window in that 365-day calendar that you can be allowed to tear up that field as much as you want before it has to start adapting for the following season. For example, the MLS year would run from March until November. And the only 2 weeks they would give us were the 2 weeks prior to Christmas. So we would put those dates out to all the local high schools and say, look, we can do 6 games. So that's 12 teams. Here are the dates. Qualify yourselves and your teams to play on those dates. And that's how you got it done. And so they also incorporated a fundraising aspect with each high school and how many tickets were sold and yada, yada, you know how that goes. But yeah, there is fact to there only being a few weeks in a calendar year, especially with the World Cup coming. And that has to be natural grass. They're going to be really tight on it. So I think it's less about them not letting us, but us just saying, hey, what dates can we? And whether it's before or after some of these big events, we kind of tailor it. So just a little input. Sorry.
Going to pull the grass out from Super Bowl and replace it for World Cup. And there's a window in there. That's the window we want.
February 22nd. Sorry. It's the last weekend of February and I'm pulling up a calendar. I think it's the 28th.
Second.
Oh, okay.
So if we want dates to be flexible, right? We do have youth soccer park adjacent to the stadium. Probably we can try to manage that also as an option because
Option there for
No?
during that time period because it'll be after Super Bowl and it just depends on the condition that it's left in.
the youth soccer park.
They're putting the media village on the shut down now. And they're going to have that for a couple of months. Yeah.
Wow.
I received a message from Yvonne Inciarte. She had to get on a flight, but she wanted to just express on behalf of the mid-30-year-old population of Santa Clara.
I knew she would come in here. Remind us of our age. Yes.
Exactly. So she said we should not wait to host an event for Santa Clara in between Super Bowl and FIFA events. A local first event in March resets community morale between the chaos of the Super Bowl and the World Cup. Locals deserve to feel the benefits of the Super Bowl revenue now rather than waiting until late 2026. Prioritizing residents before the next wave of tourists shows respect. Doing it after looks like damage control. Santa Clarans need a reminder that their city is a home, not just a global stage for outsiders. So that's those are her thoughts, and I would just like to add as well. I mean, I'm reading where some of the streets are already going to start being closed down, and the next I think now in preparation for Super Bowl. And I know there are a lot of upset residents, especially like in the north side. I've read a lot of comments out on Nextdoor, and I think people need to know that they're being included and that their voices are being heard and that they are much a part of this as anybody else. So my 2 cents.
Okay, Javon, he has his hand up. I guess we have to listen to him. City manager?
Hello,
Can we get
I'm
him?
feeling under the weather. I don't know if everybody can hear me.
Joanne, you may speak now.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? No, no one can hear me. Let's try this. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We couldn't hear you before.
I'm-
Now we can, Javon.
Okay, I'm feeling under the weather, which is the only reason why I'm not there. So I apologize. I think it's already been said, but I just wanted to provide a little bit more details on the 2 windows. And so one of the reasons why the city has not held an event there is just the cost. And I think it's been said about we really need to find a window where we don't have to pay for the replacement of the grass. And so the NFL's the Super Bowl's access to Levi Stadium actually ends in early March. I want to say the date is like March 8th. But we have talked to the NFL. They do believe that they can be out before that, and so that's why we've been providing the potential time frame of February 27th through early March. Now, on March 9th, literally the day after the NFL is supposed to vacate, they're going to start rehabbing the field to grow the grass for FIFA. And so we really have that window in late February, early March. And so it feels like 2 weekends. So either the weekend of the 28th and February 1st, or the weekend of February 7th and February 8th. After that, if there was a desire to do an event after that, we're really looking into July. And again, the challenge with that is that our first non-NFL event begins on July 25th. And so the last FIFA match is July 1st. And so there's that window between a few days after July 1st, because FIFA will not be out of there by, I think they have at least a week after that. And so we're really looking at mid-July. And then the first non-NFL event is an Ed Sheeran concert on July 25th, and then an AC/DC tour on August 5th. And so potentially there could be a date in between July 25th or August 5th. But I've heard the comments that the community really wants something to occur after Super Bowl. So we have that tight window, and we're roughly 60 days out. And so if that's a desire, all hands on deck, and that's priority number one. And I totally agree with the mayor's comments to make sure that the sports groups can ensure that the youth can actually be there on whatever date is picked so that they can play on the field.
So it looks like our window is the end of February and the first week in March. So there's 2 weekends there. Is it the 28th and March 1st? And then March 7th and 8th? We should probably look at maybe 7th and 8th, give us another one extra week. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Yes, yes. That means, yeah, but if that's the weekend, that means we've got to hustle.
Mike, can you use the mic?
Oh, Mike, use
Thanks.
the mic. Mike. Okay.
So if you want to put together a team of, let's say, a 16 soccer tournament of U12, 2 from Santa Clara Youth Rec League, 2 from PAL Rec League, 2 from Lions, and then possibly the championship game could be played in the stadium.
There's a lot of things we can do.
We
but
could play all the prelim games at the soccer park
Soccer park. will
or
be
Reed and
available.
Grant then.
Right.
You get 2 final teams, you take them to the stadium, and those kids will never forget that. Those 12-year-olds will remember that the rest of their lives, that they played on the same field as world professional athletes.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other things that can happen if we have it all day long. And through the night.
Yeah, it doesn't have
As
to be
we
a soccer
skip
tournament. I'm familiar with your sports, so.
No, I know that, so we can do that and maybe more.
I mean, I coached high school kids and we played at Levi Stadium on Friday Night Lights. Those kids are in their almost 30, some of those kids, and they're still talking about that. The games they got to play at Levi Stadium.
Yeah.
That's how much of an impact it is.
And then we have to look at how we're inviting our residents to come. What's the capacity, how they get in, what's the criteria for them to come in? So there's a lot of logistics to work out. But it'll be exciting and fun. And then music and food and sports and what else is there?
A lot of logistics to put together for that event, for sure.
Yeah, but it's between Super Bowl and World Cup. There's no other events going on, so public safety is, yeah, right. Okay.
Can you, Paulina, let us know? I know we have a subcommittee built for the stadium community event. I wonder if it would be beneficial to actually have, like, if we're really looking at it as a sports component, a concert component, food component, does the subcommittee need to have its own subcommittees? I mean, like, how do we cost share this? What do you guys propose to get this plan?
Well, we do have the subcommittee for the individuals that wanted to be part of the stadium event. I think part of that included all of the things that have already been listed, the youth clinic, and some kind of music or something in the evening. So I think we can start with the subcommittee. And it's still open. So if anyone else wants to join it, they are more than able to or welcome to join us. We do have it scheduled for the 15th of January. If we can move it up to this week, if we need to get moving on it.
We should.
So I was looking at this Thursday. I don't know if we can schedule it for 3:00. And I can send that out to the email to the group and the subcommittee members. Anyone else is welcome to join so that we can really hash out what the stadium event's going to look like. Great ideas about having, the final game at the stadium itself. And then what kind of artist or, what that looks like in the evening. As the mayor mentioned, if we're going to have the stadium, let's take full advantage of it and not just have it for a couple hours, maximize the day that we have the stadium for the community.
Paulina, if I could just add, I was at the Bears game 2 weeks ago. I don't know if anybody else was.
Oh, you have the mic on.
Yes, I do.
Sorry.
Yeah, there.
Just speak a little louder then.
Okay, hold it closer. And it's green. So anyway, so I was at the game with my husband, and I think that was the game where they introduced the light show. I don't know if you heard about it. And I believe it was Foreigner that performed, and they weren't on the field. They were just up in one of the corners, all set up on a stage. And then they had the cameras like focus them on the big screen so everybody could see it. The light show, you had a good eye view of what was going on in the field. But the other thing too is that there were digital bracelets that people wore, and they were coordinated with the music. And so it was a light show, and really people got it was very exciting to be a part of it. So I know it was the 49ers that put on the event. I don't know what the cost was, but just to throw that out there, something like that is still possible.
They had something at the Seahawks game where it was a QR code and you could use your phone for the light show, but it wasn't as elaborate as the bracelet. No.
I have to say that not all the phones, because I'll just tell you, we were there and ours phones didn't work. So anyway, but there was more success with the bracelets.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll schedule it for this Thursday at 3:00, and we'll send out the meeting request. If you want to be part of it, I'll send it out to the whole group, and you guys will all have the link. So whoever wants to participate is welcome to.
Where would the meeting be?
We've done it virtually, but depending on the group size, I can look at available room space. I don't know if this space. Yeah, we could do it in person, but I just have to confirm where we can find a location. I'll let him know you said that. So let me confirm a location and I'll send the meeting request out.
Okay. Last time, as part of my suggestions, right? Do we have anything to do with residential appreciation day or something? So that you can include the residents in the vicinity of the stadium uh, as part of the residential appreciation day or some
Are
kind
you
of an
asking
event?
if the Niners have an resident appreciation day? I'm not sure that they do. I think they do a fan appreciation day. But what we're doing as a stadium event's for the residents. So that's a city-led event. I don't know if
Okay.
that answers your question.
We don't have anything planned for neighborhood appreciation. We're just trying to get the neighbors involved in what we're doing. So nothing at this time. Food is free for them. Free hot dogs, right? There's Howie. Yeah, free hot dogs with relish. Okay. Let's go.
One last slide, which has now become a little bit, so upcoming priorities is going to be the stadium event. This obviously is going to change a little bit. We're going to have that meeting this week. We're also looking at having a couple other subcommittee meetings. One for the night markets. We are moving forward with activating 900 Lafayette. Lunar New Year is the first one, but we do want to make sure we're ready for March and May and June. And the other one will be the Global Relations Subcommittee. We don't have a date for that, but we'll be sending that out. We're going to be providing continued updates on sponsorships and then the budget for the events. And then lastly, as this is now already outdated, the last one is subcommittee meeting. We're going to move it up to the stadium event for this Thursday at 3. Night market subcommittee will be January 22nd from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. And then the next meeting in February is going to be on a Thursday, February 19th. We are not going to be here the Monday following Super Bowl. So, and I think that concludes the presentation. If there's any other questions, I think that brings us almost to the end of the meeting.
So a lot of this work is going to have to be done in subcommittees now, as you see, where time is short. So if you can join the subcommittees, please join because we need all hands on deck now. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
If I could, sorry, add one thing, just for the stadium event, while we want to have the event, it's a city facility, we lease it out, we still have to work with a couple entities just to coordinate everything. We have the Bay Area Host Committee, the MANCO, STADCO, and so all of these with the NFL as well. So these are entities that we're having to coordinate all of these logistics for the event because as I don't know if Javon mentioned earlier, but technically I think the NFL has the stadium until March. And so we're working with them to get access to the stadium to have that window that we do now. So that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Let me take a breath there. Okay. All right.
Javon has his hand raised.
Again, Javon. Go ahead, please.
All right, thank you, Mayor. No, if we're going to push to have a stadium event in the next 60 days, I think we need to set up 4 working groups and we can create the attendees on that. But we need a group working on sports and whatever youth sports events will occur. We need a group that's going to focus on the concert, a group that will focus on literally the event logistics, and we can tap our Parks and Rec department that helps us out with all of our big community events. And then we're going to need a 4th group that's going to work exclusively on negotiations with the NFL, MANCO, and STADCO, and work on contract amendments. And so if this is the direction of the committee, we'll get working on it and make it priority number 1.
Okay. All right, does anybody else have any comments or questions? Anything? Okay. Good. Ready for this meeting's adjourned. If you can all come up for a photo, please come. I guess we don't even have a picture. Yeah. We don't.